let's talk about what it means to truly step into your purpose and not be afraid of what it means to be heard, seen, and felt by your community. Because I don't know, someone might need to hear this. And if you didn't know, this is Channeled Messages with Rachel Sparks. And this is my very first YouTube video. So please be kind. This is my first ever YouTube video ever. And I'm so excited, and I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you to anybody out there. If you are from my TikTok family or my Instagram family, please let me know down below that you are from TikTok or Instagram. I would love to give you a little shout out, and I'm so grateful that you found me. So let's talk about living in your purpose. And I kind of want to talk a little bit about my own personal journey with spirituality, my testimony kind of in a way, and how the universe has completely and utterly changed my life, because I've learned to step into my power, into my greatness, and stop being scared of what other people think of me. Because I feel like a lot of us, we get scared of what other people think of us. So hopefully this will inspire you to start getting started with that small business that you got working on, or finally get started on being, the psychic that you're meant to be, like pulling out those tarot cards and doing those readings, right? For money, right? Charge what you deserve, you know what I mean? But anyway, let's talk about it. So about 2 to 3 years ago, the universe, my ancestors began calling me to the practice of doing divination for other people. And 2 to 3 years ago, I was also living in Vermont. And if you don't know what Vermont is, let me just tell you. It is a state in the Northeast Kingdom that is very predominantly white, and it is also one of the most powerful places I've ever been to. It like the spirits that are there are so incredible. You can feel the land. And if you're wondering to yourself, girl, why were you in Vermont? It kind of happened like this. So I decided to move to Vermont to be with, it was just supposed to be a summer trip to Vermont for the summer, to be with my ex-boyfriend at the time, to be with my boyfriend at the time. And during that time, Spirit was saying like, I'm calling you to something bigger. I'm calling you to something bigger. I'm calling you to something bigger. And I did not understand what that meant. I was being called and led to actually stay in Vermont, which, like I said, is very, very predominantly white, and in an area that I didn't necessarily feel the most comfortable. But Spirit needed me to be there to not only be secluded a little bit from, the outside world, so that I can really hone in on my practice and study, but to also really find my own inner voice and my own inner psyche. Because that's one thing that I always teach my students, like that are I mentor people, but that's also something that I've been beginning to teach other people, is the ability to trust your own voice. Because if I wasn't in such a secluded area in Vermont, I was living in a farmhouse, it was a whole thing, I would not be able to fully understand what my gift is and how I'm meant to reach and help other people. I will never forget when I bought my first freaking tarot deck when I was in Vermont. I've always kind of been a little spiritual, I always kind of knew, and I grew up particularly Christian, so it was a really hard thing for me to pick up a deck of tarot cards. But that's what God kept telling me, and your version of God may not be my version of God, you know what I mean? For some people, God is a man. For some people, God is the earth or a woman or whatever. There's so many different versions of this one creator, this one being that we feel is separate from us, but is a part of us. And living in the little fields of Vermont. I'm telling y'all, I was in a little farmhouse. I was living a cottagecore life. I was a little black girl living my little life out there. It was difficult, I will say, but it was incredible. And I remember as I was pulling tarot cards and such, I started to really feel my ancestors come up against me. not up against me, but I would feel them come near me, like my Jamaican ancestors and my father's ancestors, my African American ancestors, the ancestors that are from Utah and New York and the East Coast and North Carolina. I started to feel all of these spirits come near me. And at first, y'all, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was a little scared. Okay, I was a little scared because I was like, I don't know if I'm meant to do this all of the time. I thought it was just something that I was meant to do, just to get some information at times. Like, I really, really started to get very good at reading cards. And then there came a time where Spirit said to me, the universe said to me, Rachel, you are meant to lead in this. This is your life purpose. Your purpose is to do divinate, like tarot card readings for other people, share your voice, and be a mentor. That is what you're called to do. You've always been that. And after I heard that from Spirit, I was like, wait, what? That's my calling? Really? Like, I thought I was meant to be an actor. Mind you, I am a theater kid. If you didn't know, you probably didn't know. I grew up in theater. Like, I've always loved being in the limelight. Don't get me wrong. I love being in the limelight. I love being seen. And I used to write and I used to speak in front of my church a lot of the time. I used to speak in front of my school a lot. I spoke, at my college for different kinds of things, like with acting stuff. And so I thought that was my calling. My calling was to perform, to tell stories, to help other people in that kind of way. And Spirit was like, why do you think you've been given all of these gifts? Because it didn't work out with the acting stuff when I was in college, and that's gonna be something for another video. I will tap into it a little bit in this video, but there's a lot there, right? I thought that I was meant to be this like incredible actor. Mind you, I had also gotten into one of the top colleges for acting in the country, the American Musical and Dramatic Arts Academy. I thought I was meant to go there, okay? I always knew that I was going to end up in California because Spirit was like, I felt it on my heart. I felt it on my heart that I was meant to lead people from a fame perspective. And so I always thought to myself, okay, so then that means I'm going to be an actor because that's how you become famous. Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. Over a couple of months, Spirit began to put on my heart to start doing tarot readings for other people. Now, this is when I started getting scared because I was like, okay, I'll do a little tarot reading for here and there, but I'm going to keep it to me because I didn't want people to know that my faith had swayed, quote unquote, from Christianity. I was no longer a Christian, not in the direct definition of what a Christian is. I believe that Jesus was a person. I believe in a lot of it, but I could no longer call myself Christian, okay? Mind you, I was raised in a very, very strict, not very strict, but a very religious household. No, it was a little strict. And so the concept of spirituality was never that was very, very taboo. Even though when I was little, I swear I used to astral project all of the time. And I used to just know things. I used to, get flowers and mix it up with certain other ingredients that were around my house and then pray over it. Is that not a spell? Okay. But I never really thought of it as something that was like hoodoo, which I now practice and teach and encourage other Black Americans to be able to do. I just thought it was just something that I did. And all of this to say that Spirit was preparing me my entire life for the thing that I am now currently doing. I didn't even know. I didn't even recognize. I didn't know. I was scared. I was like, there's no way I'm meant to help people in this way through spirituality, through divination. But that's what I did. And so let's fast forward the story. So a year later, still living in Vermont, right? Now I'm with another person. I'm kind of in a little bit of a weird relationship. Okay. And I was still doing all my spiritual stuff. And I started getting a lot of these downloads, right? I kept getting a lot of these things coming in, like time to start the small business, like really, really starting the small business, starting to do tarot readings and do workings for other people and mentor people and be on social media. Y'all, I was freaking out. I was like, little old me, I live in Vermont. I don't know how this is going to work. Mind you, I was also using an iPhone. I think it was like an iPhone 8 Yes, y'all, it was like an iPhone 8, and you know how Apple like messes with the phones and stuff over time. But yeah, that basically was happening. And I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna film videos. Spirit found a way for me to be able to film videos and post it on TikTok. I was like, okay, we gotta post videos on TikTok. What do I know about TikTok? I don't even really go on TikTok like that. Like, you know what I mean? And Spirit was like, no, just share the knowledge that we've given you and post it on TikTok. And I remember I got up to about 560 followers on TikTok, and I will never forget this day. This is a testimony that I tell a lot of people, because this is the day that my life changed. No, like actually, like not a joke, my life significantly and completely changed. I will never forget, I was working at Subway at the time because I was trying to make ends meet at the time. There was a lot of dysfunction that was just kind of happening around my life at the time. I posted a video the day before I went into work one day. I didn't think about any of it because I was at 560 followers, and I would barely get 1,000 views on a video. Barely. Sometimes not even like 1,000. Like, oh, I got 1,000 views. Like it was like that, right? I look on my phone while I'm at work, and my phone is just blowing up. Okay, and I remember my ex at the time was like, "You went viral." And I was like, no, I didn't. I checked my phone, guys, and I kid you not, I had 10,000 followers when I was at work, right? Ending my shift. My home, I would walk home from work because Subway was like right next to where I worked in Vermont. Everything was like pretty close when you live in like a town in Vermont. So I could walk back home. And by the time I walked back home, I had 13,000 followers. I had 13,000 followers and counting. It just continued to go up and up and up and up and up and up. And I will never forget the morning after I started getting clients booking the hell out of my calendar. And I was like, Spirit, this is a lot. Like, I don't know. Like, is this for me? But Spirit was like, you need to step into this. You need to step into your greatness. You need to step out of this conformity of feeling like being scared to share what you know, the knowledge that you have been given, because of your fear of judgment and because of the old image of how other people thought of you, because that was my biggest fear, guys. One of the other things that was keeping me back from like really, really doing the thing that, you know, God, the universe was telling me to do was, you know, what were people going to think of me? What were my old friends that are Christian going to think of me? What is my family? I mean, my family was kind of already like, girl, you on one, because I had moved to Vermont. And like none of my family members were really with it. And so it was crazy. And so I was like, what if I just did it anyway? You know, what if I make some people mad, but I do what I'm called to do anyway? And now it is now 2 years later. A year later from that time, but about 2 to 3 years later, after I was called to teach, mentor, tarot, divination, and all that stuff, and I have done thousands of readings. Look out, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I am 23 years old, turning 24 this November, and my life has completely flipped because I stepped into my purpose. And because of that, remember in the beginning when I was like, oh, like, I feel like I'm meant to move to California. Like, I feel like I'm drawn to fame. Like, I'm meant to be famous or whatever it is. I did move back to California. Like, actually, I'm now living in LA. I live in California. And Spirit is continuing to tell me that I'm still going to be doing the things that I am doing now for a greater collective, because that is my calling. And I'm just telling you this entire testimony so that you get to know me. My name is Rachel Sparks, and this is like a little channel message with Rachel, but this is a little bit more of a testimony. Listen to your ancestors, listen to your spirit team, listen to your angels when they tell you, because if the little old version of Rachel did not post that video on TikTok that day, I would have never, number one, I would have never moved to California. I would have never met and mentored and taught and did classes and done all of these things for thousands of people so far. And I would have never met the love of my life. I've also met the love of my life because of TikTok. Because without TikTok, I would not have moved to California at the time that I did. I would also not be living in my dream apartment right now. Trust. I'm telling you, trust. It's so difficult when there's so many odds that are against us. We're like, there's no way that's going to happen. Because like for me, y'all, my phone was broken. I didn't even have a working phone. Okay? But I still somehow found a way to record videos. I think I used the back of my phone or something. I found a way. And then quickly after that, because I did the thing I was supposed to do, I was actually able to buy a new phone. So that was crazy. I was able to get the money that I needed to pay for the phone that I needed. And so now I get to help people to be empowered and trust themselves and come back home. Because that's what this is about. Coming back home to you, not what other people think of you, but when you come back home to you, you find your community, you find your people, you find your inner truth, you find all of those things. Be bold and fucking courageous, babe. Be bold and courageous. Because there's someone out there that needs to hear you. Just like there are probably some of you guys out there that are watching this and you're like, I needed that. And if you're still watching this video, I want you to comment a butterfly, because comment a butterfly and a white heart. Because butterflies represent transformations, and white, I've been seeing white so often. I don't know why I keep like channeling the color white lately. But I know white is so significant, and not just innocence, but new beginnings. Put that down below in the comment section, because I would just love to see it. So that is my testament of how God, the universe, has changed my life. And I thought that it would be pretty fitting to be my very first video, because if anybody needed to hear this, it's definitely me. I'm probably gonna watch this back and be like, damn, this is my first YouTube video. Because also, guys, this is another thing. Like, so yeah, I haven't been trusting the universe about posting on YouTube, but here we are, we're posting it, and I'm here. So yeah, comment a butterfly and a white heart. And please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to have so many more things coming out. And you're going to want to be there to check it out. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.